We're there, almost. It's close enough. I was just looking, how do I set this to? Right there? Audio, video. I would think it would be right here in generic. That's projectors, though. And why is the system tree had overflow? Overflow always visible. I want app always visible. Anyway. Enough about that. What's up? Check, 1 3. Can you hear me? We are live. What's up, Larry? Electro Omega, Terry 3G, Trolls, Gary, and Ben Coombs, Matt Baker, Scott Connor, John Clark, Max, Beat, Andrew, Ripley, Thrash, Shape, Renee, Copperfield, great name. Levels are good, says Ben Coombs. I believe him. Yeah, I missed you last week, too. So last week, I didn't have, it flooded the day before on Christmas Day on Friday. And we delayed everything, Christmas dinner with my parents came over. That was it. And, but we delayed it a day, because of the flood. And, so that made it Saturday instead of Friday. And we just went to like 7 or 8 o'clock at night. That's like they were over for dinner. And, then it's like opening presents and hanging out. That stuff just takes a long time when you have family over. It's like, they're not rushing out the door. So, yeah, I missed you last week. What's up, FXDB? Ricky? What's up, Frank C? Great studio tour. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks, Jim Beam. Thanks, Frank C. I've been trying to do that for such a long time. And super extra mega thanks to DistroKid for sponsoring that because they were very, very patient. I promised that video to them in October of 2019. That's a long-term vision right there. But what it was is I was like, hey, dude, I'm about to like reset this whole area over there. And I got so much good video of that section that had the round rug, that area. It was all filled with stuff. I have, video of me getting everything out of there and cleaning it all up and painting the walls and doing the floors and everything. But that was going to be the drum area, and then when it wasn't, it sort of just, it stalled everything. The whole thing, everything just got stalled. Enjoyed the studio tour, especially the behind the scenes. Yeah, oh my God, that cat. I had two video shot of that. Really 3. But the first one, I shot the whole thing. And it was a little shorter, I think. I didn't quite go into as much detail. And then I think the second one, I was going into a lot more detail. And the goddamn camera overheated. I looked down, I happened to notice it wasn't recording anymore. And it just had to stop because they have a little thermal protector that if the battery goes so long. So you take the battery out, you let the whole thing cool down, And then I waited, and so I recorded the first one like at 3 in the afternoon. The second one around 5 or 6. I don't think I recorded that one until, I want to say, 1 a.m., right? Because I was recording it 2 days before Christmas, and I think it says it's December 24th on the clock there at like 1 a.m. So that last one, and then of course, the cat hears me talking and like comes right over, like hanging out, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And it's because you left the plastic on it. No, I didn't leave the plastic on the GoPro. You're thinking of the other thing. No. It was GoPros overheat. I was recording it in 60 frames per second, 4K. And yeah. It didn't like it. And there was another change I made. I think I changed it to high efficiency video codec, so it doesn't have to record as much, though it is doing more compression like routine. It's like, I don't know what causes more heat, the saving it to the chip, or calculating the compression routine for high efficiency video codec. Well, I have two of my cats camp out at the stove, so they're hearing something. They might be hearing, and this is true, the stove just creaking as it cools off. Right. But assuming they're not, and they hear something, they're camping out. They play the long game. Coot says, do your amps get wet when you flood? Usually no, so long as the sump pump is working. If the sump pump doesn't work, it's quickly to 5 or 6 inches in a light rainstorm. It could be even worse with heavy rain. It could be, a friggin' half a meter. So, at some point, you've got to just displace it. There's no, it's a water table just lifting up through the ground. Doesn't come in from any one section. It comes in through everything at once. And what happens is, what I found out is, once I put, and I used to have like little spouts everywhere. Once I put that big hole near the sump pump, it just comes gushing out of there. And I think that relieves a lot of the pressure. But over time, eventually, it still works its way through. It just has too much upwards pressure, static pressure. So the only thing you do is relieve the pressure. You do that through French drains. It's a lot of money, though. We looked into it. It's very expensive. Yeah, the cat was a great co-host. I didn't realize how much I caught of the purring. Like when you listen back to it, a couple of times I go to it, you can really hear the purr, like purr, purr, purr. And I was, it's like I'm trying to talk and look at the back of the camera, what I'm looking at when I'm framing. It's like I worry I'm going to like step on her. She's so underfoot and so tiny. That's the smallest of the cats we have. All the other ones are much larger. You get plastic half pallets. Well, what I have is I have some shelving, plastic shelving, and you just don't construct it, and they act like a little plastic pallet. You just put that on the ground. In fact, you can see one, I think, in that video, because I had some electronics on there and just a little bit. As long as the sump is working, the most you're going to get is a little bit of puddling. And that's about it. If the sump doesn't work, now you're in trouble. Now you're in really big trouble. Who knows how much you could get in here without a sump running. I wouldn't want to find out. Drill a hole the path of least resistance. Well, I have a jackhammer, and I did drill a hole at the top, right? And that gushes out when we have heavy water. You know, that's one thing I learned. I only did that like a year, maybe 2 years ago. And the jackhammer has a point tip and a chisel tip. And I took the point tip and put the hole in. And then I used the chisel tip to chisel like a waterfall, like groove, so it goes right down into the sump and then won't go anywhere else on the floor. And then I took the point tip, and I went into the bottom of the sump, and I just put like 4 holes in the bottom, but they seem to have clogged up. Or it just comes in so fast, it can't get to it quickly enough. What you really do need is a French drain. Thrash Metal Studio says, have you considered moving? We have. We have, you know. It has come up in, like, I'd say the last year especially. Say, you know what? It's a great area. We love our area because it's, you know, it's a little bit country and a little bit rock and roll. You know, it's like we're close enough to sort of stuff, and, you know, we have access to, you know, public transportation if we need it, which is, you know, once the farther you get out, you don't get that any longer. So we actually have some pretty good amenities right here. We're close enough to major highways and everything. You know, it's a pretty good location. The problem is that the stupid water. It makes you crazy. Every time they predict a big rainstorm, you know, I got goddamn agita over here, right? Like, according to my Cardia Mobile, I gotta relax. Landon says you have to build a moat. It sucks. Grew up with some pumps and flooding at my parents' place, 2 pumps. I think just even adding a second pump and really, quite frankly, getting the first pump, you know, a little deeper into the ground would go a long way because it's not a very deep sump. You just have to look at the mindset of the guy who put this in. He was like, I don't want to pump out water that's underneath the ground. So he made a basin that was very sealed from the outside, so water couldn't get in. I almost want to say he put in a cistern, right, which is brick, right? It's like basically a well. He basically put in a small well so that water couldn't get in. And then he's like, when the water gets over the surface, I'll make everything grade so that it could then goes into the sump pump. Problem solved. Yeah, unless you want anything that can get wet on the floor. He apparently just gave up on the friggin' space. And it's like, I don't know. It's a whole nother floor. I think I've made pretty good use of it. And, you know, I couldn't give up this amount of floor space. I need it. So, there's that. There is a way to fix it. I have a neighbor down the street who has the same exact problem, and he has 0 flooding because he had them come in. It cost him like $15,000 or like maybe $8,000 when he had it done, and he had big French drains put in, 2 pumps. So some of the French drains drain down to one corner, and the other drains drain down to the opposite corner, right? And then there's 2 big sumps, one in each opposite corner. And they just pump like crazy. Andy has like the battery backup and the double pump in case it goes too crazy. Like he's fully furnished it. Like he spent a lot of money down there to put everything down there. So he's like, God damn it, well, I'm not ruining. like he's got like nice everything. He's not down here. Like down here, that's like just some crappy rug I got at probably Home Depot or something like that, maybe Costco, and I've had it forever. And you know, it's mostly a concrete floor except for sections that have a little bit of rug, like this and the round rug. But you know, it's it adds up. Right now, we have to have a little roof section done. And so far, the two estimates we have been, wildly off. One's like literally less than half of the other. And so we're going to have a third company come out and just see, is it closer? Are we getting a bargain, or is that one guy ripping us off? We'll see like where this third guy comes in. I figure 3 estimates and we should be able to figure it out. It's for a well, we'll see. We'll see. It's just so interesting. It's not a huge roof, but it's just interesting how wildly different they are for price. Well, you use the stimulus check on that. No way, I spent my stimulus check on drugs and whores. Every last cent of it. Oh, yeah, right out. I spent it on coke, whores, and coke whores. It's what God would have intended. Funny shaped box, not a vacuum. Christmas PS 120. Wife did good. Oh, fantastic! Congrats, man. PS 120. Yeah. Paul Stanley, right? Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. That was exactly, and that was Monday night. Oh. Well, it's not a tiny job, Ripley. It's a rubber roof on a 10 by, say, 4, but, it's, it comes out, It's got a little bit of a slant. The roof they have up there now is a design I didn't really know about. The last guy was showing me. It's basically a metal, and they put like a tar over it, and they use a torch, and I guess they bind this like asphalt to the metal, which I never heard of such a thing. I go, it's a rolled roof. He goes, no, it's actually a little different. And he goes, this is like a metal with a rolled tar, and they torch the tar, and he goes, it's a bit of a thing. I was like, really? He goes, yeah, but we're going to go rubber. We're going rubber on this. I was like, all right. Is that Guitologist? What's up, Guitologist? What's up, man? What's up, Brad? I think I just saw him go by there. What's up, buddy? What's up, Cushman? I think he just showed up. Steve, did you see any of that Kiss show in Dubai? Not really. I saw a couple of clips of it. It looks like the clip I saw was like a friggin', it felt like an ad for the tourism division of Dubai. It was basically Kiss saying how awesome Dubai was, which I'm sure they were subsidized by the tourism department to some degree. Elastomeric. Yeah. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe elastomeric. You might be right on that. Perhaps a secondary water. I don't know what. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, Guitologist. What's up, buddy? Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, we're crawling. I'll be to 100,000 by 2029. Getting there. I'm inching. I'm limping over that line. Steve, I want to remove the bare wood. The neck back. Really raw finishes. Is it okay to leave it raw? What should I do? I don't know if I'd leave it raw. You might want to throw just a little bit of oil. I don't even know if you're going to be able to get it down to completely raw. You might be able to. But why don't you do this? Rather than take it down raw, why don't you start with like a Scotch-Brite, right? And just see if that's enough for you, right? You might just be able to Scotch-Brite it up a little bit with a more aggressive, like the green. Right, the blue's not going to do much. The blue is a non-abrasive. But try the green and see if that makes it rough enough for you. Right? Oh, thanks, Copperfield. Much appreciated, man. What are your comments on an EBO? Do you have one? I've never had one, but I've been always interested. I keep holding out to buying a guitar like one of the Schecters that has it built right into the neck, right? I'm like, to hold off on the EBO, just get one of the, because I played an Ibanez once that had that, and I friggin' loved it. I think it was a Joe Satriani model. And the Sun Valley Super Shredder was available with one in the neck. You can find them used around $500. That's a pretty good price point with a built-in sustainer. An EBO is going to run you about $100 alone. Yeah, tongue oil. Yeah, the green Scotch-Brite. I use that all the time, says Krellbar. On guitars, right? We're talking about guitars, right? Have I missed a story on the AFX track? Yeah, we talked about it, how I got one of those AFXs for... Not for Christmas, like after Christmas. And we wound up returning it under my dad's insistence. I loved it. He wanted a train. We got a train set, and that quickly got boring. It was a huge step down. And he's like, no, we're going to go get some real trains. And he found a guy in the One Advertiser who was like this big train dealer guy who lived about an hour away, and we used to drive up there. And God, the money, it just ballooned into this massive, until my dad needed cash, and then it all had to go. And I was like, this started out with me having a race car set. He's like, yeah, not anymore. It's straight out of The Simpsons. I should disassemble my EBO and try and reverse engineer one. It's an alternating magnet, right? They take right? Is it a rapidly switching polarity? That might make sense, right? You're right, because you're going one way, then the other way, then one way, then the other way. You do that fast enough, almost in... Is it... Oh, it can't be spinning. I don't know. Is it just... Wait a second. Well, no, because it uses electricity. It takes it's not passive. I was going to say, is it just a positive magnet in one way and a negative in another? When you get it in between, right? One sort of pulling one way and one sort of pulling the other, pushing, but that wouldn't do it. It needs some sort of alternating polarity, I think. That's what my brain says. The fuck do I know? Oh my God, they still have the One Ed. Oh no, God, this is a long time ago. That's in the 70s. And the Bargain Hunter. Got my first Strat from the Bargain Hunter. Oh, thanks, Copperfield. Have one of me. Oh, thanks, buddy. That's really appreciated. Quentin James said he just bought the HSS Sun Valley Super Shredder 3. Nice. Krellbar says, I have a JS100 I got for $250 unloaded with a Steve Special in the bridge and a Duncan in the neck. I can't remember which swapped out the junk trem with a Goto. Goto is one of the better ones, and because they're Ibanez and they're Japanese, it's usually pretty much a direct fit. What kind of pickups are in that Wolfgang? I believe they are Wolfgang. I believe Wolfgang is the correct answer. Roof fund. Oh, thanks, man. My wife will appreciate that. That's really appreciated. The want ads. My bro's dad delivered that for extra money. Yeah, dude, the want advertiser was massive. The best ad, and again, this is before the advent of digital cameras. I think the want ad was dead by then, but the ad I'll never forget, because you'd read it religiously, you'd be bored out of your tits, right? Sitting at my dad's tire shop or at the friggin' aquarium, the pet store. But the tire shop really is where I really remember, because, that's right around the time I was really getting into guitar more, teenager. And the ad read, I remember reading it, going into Green Gardens on River Street in Hyde Park, getting it and walking back up to Four Corners and looking through the ads. And I get to this ad. Gibson Les Paul, my dad played in the 50s. One broken string, $50. And it was in like Newton, which that's anyone from around here knows, oh, that could be legit, right? Dumb dude, gets a guitar, the rest of the family doesn't care. He got a little money, he's got a nice Les Paul. Man, I called for days, and it was like, yeah, just nonstop. And then finally, I got through, and they were like, "It's sold." Click. Free frogs, limit 5 per customer. Damn. Oh, guitarologist, thanks, man. Got to run, dudes. Thanks for the much appreciated. Government got me started with 600, but that only lasts a few minutes. It was over before the hour was done. I'll be pulling that $5 out later. Oh yeah. Oh, thanks, guys. Steve, do you think the new Gibson SG Standards are worth the cost? I want a new SG Standard with a brown case. Remember them being $1,100. I think the $1,100 price point is over. I can't find them cheaper than around $1,000 or $1,100 used now. There's been a huge, in the last 6 months, the SG has really moved out of the like $850 to $950 to $1,000 territory used. They're up into $1050, $1099, $1150, $1199. It's hard to get it below that. Copperfield, oh, thanks, buddy. Look at you. Much appreciated, man. That's awesome. So, the prices seem to be creeping up across the board, everywhere. I absolutely have noticed that. Prices are up, without a doubt. Also, stock is way down, all right? I could go on Guitar Center used and find 350 PRSs. I think they're under 150 right now, right? The other day, I went on there, and I just happened to catch it in a moment. It was back to normal like the next day. But they had 10 Squires, 10, in all the stores across all of, Guitar Center, because they're a low-cost guitar, and it was like right before Christmas, and they just sold out. And then the next day, it was back to 25, and there was a whole new slew of guitars, or whatever. But, the stock has been low. I mean, you can go on there, and there'd be 150 to 200 Squires, and now it's down to like a few dozen. Stock is down. Well, you have to remember that they were closed for a while, so they weren't bringing anything used in, right? Because there's no foot traffic. There's no place to go and actually see somebody and show them the guitar and talk about selling it or trading it in. So that, certainly would slow down the used inventory. They haven't been getting new inventory just because, from everything I've heard from a lot of people in the industry, just production lines have been slowed down all over. And then the end of the summer, maybe early September, they were taking ads out saying, like, show up and sell us your used instrument. And you know what? Their stock ballooned from about 23,000 used instruments to almost 30,000. But it's back down again. It's back down under 25,000 because they sold all that stuff off for Christmas. And now it's back down to like where it was. And it's going to take a little while, I think, for that to get going again. They're also going to close a few stores. I know that the one in downtown Manhattan is going to close. That's very expensive space, and you might get a tourist that goes there and buys a guitar, but I don't know that you're going to have like some tourist coming in from another country that's and for the locals it's annoying to go down there, to have to go to Times Square. It's a big hassle. So if you're not picking up like the tourist crowd, what's the purpose? And I think they have another one in Union Square. So the one in Times Square is closing, from what I understand. And I think you're going to see that. I think you're going to see a lot of their the stores that are super high rent and what's their profitability. Doesn't matter what they generate in revenue. You can pull in $1 million a month in revenue, but if your rent is $2 million. There goes your margin. Which guitar centers near us do you think will close? I could tell you that I think if they were going to close one in Boston, believe it or not, I think they would keep the one on Mass Ave open because it's smaller and it's across from Berkeley. And they might close the one that's at the old WBCN building, 1265 Boylston Street. That is, who knows? Maybe they'll just keep them both. The other one that's really big, and I don't know how much business they do, I think when I go to the Natick store, they always seem pretty busy. Natick, it's Braintree. It's a little bit more isolated. You have to get on the highway to get there. I got to remember that there is some other shopping around there, but it's like Kmart or whatever. The one near the one in Natick has like the Natick Mall, which has a lot more there. And the whole Natick Strip. That whole area is just teeming with Home Depots and Lowe's and Walmarts and a Ben & Jerry's store and a Cheesecake Factory and it's like the whole thing is just loaded up and down. There's a big Jordan's furniture out there. The one down in Braintree, although they did have a couple of big anchor stores there. Is it Best Buy that's there? What's their big anchor store there? I thought it was Kmart, and I thought they might be closing. And so that's what makes it a little rough, Think Natick is safe? Yeah, Natick, sure. Natick is safe. That's just Framingham is too. Nothing wrong with Natick. I remember we had some people come up. I think they were from Rockland, and they came to like Dedham Square, and they were like worried about their truck. I'm like, what? They're like, well, it's like the city. Like, what are you talking about? First of all, the police station is literally across the street, and secondly, no. Now, granted, if you head down Washington Street for a while, it'll start to get more city-like. But even that, I grew up in Rosendale. It's like, Christ's sake, grow up. Best Buy, okay, it's a Best Buy there now. Kmart is gone. Yeah. Well, Best Buy could bring people in, and Best Buy might even, that bring in the type of people who might be interested in some of the stuff, and they might actually take over where Best Buy would end for like special adapters for like audio and stuff. That's actually not a bad pairing, quite frankly. Best Buy and Guitar Center in the same parking lot. That's pretty good. That's not bad. Do you like ESP? I've never really owned one. I guess the Mirage. I think that's the one I like. The correct answer is the Mirage. With the ebony fingerboard. It's nice. Bed Bath & Beyond, I heard, is a I heard they're like a Costco style warehouse where you have to be a member to shop there, or everything, the price you see is like the member price, and the non-member price adds something like BJ's, right? Where you have to be a member, but if you're not, it adds like a percentage on. I don't know. It's a weird. I don't know what they're doing. What the fuck are you all about? The best ever is when Homer decides he wants to get a gun on The Simpsons and he goes down to Bloodbath and Beyond. The best ever. Laugh my ass off. Yeah, the Mirage is money. Steve, have you checked out the new Epiphone SG Standard 61 Maestro Vibrola electric guitar? It's a mouthful. I have not. I'd love to, though. I think that, it's the holidays right now. Maybe after the holidays, I'll talk with my buds at Epiphone, see if we can get some Epiphone stuff here. I can tell you this, the Les Paul video is doing gangbusters. It just blew past 100,000 views. People really like that video. So, it's probably the Epiphone that's pulling them in, but those are good numbers. I like it. Chuck Levin's is where Paul Reed Smith worked for a while. Yeah, big store in Baltimore, right? Chuck Levin's, or are they in D.C., Washington, D.C.? His Guitar Center, and it's not Wine and More. It's Total Wine, bro. Total Wine. I wouldn't mess around with them. Those guys are very, very serious about selling beer and wine. It's pretty crazy. They're like the most litigious business out there, and they basically, if you have a town that basically says, you can't sell beer and wine after a certain time, they fight it. They go right to court and try and knock it out. If you can't sell on a certain day, they go after blue laws. They're into it. They are known litigants. Aren't a lot of old Kramers really ESP bodies and parts? Well, that was pretty much it, I think. In the late 80s, pretty much the transition year was probably 87, and really even part of 86. By 86, they were starting to migrate, I think, a little bit more to the ESP necks. But by 87, the early catalog in 87 still shows the rounded body, but with the slanted headstock. By the time you get to the second half of 87, it's all the Custom 1, the Custom 2, the Custom 3, that full-on ESPN from head to toe. And then it doesn't say Made in America anymore. It's just like Neptune, New Jersey. Figure it out. What does that mean? I don't know. It's an address, bro. What does that mean? It's Made in America? Maybe. Sure. guitar sounds great. What's up, Brad in Oklahoma? Any New Year's resolutions? Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. The new year. Thank you. Yeah, play more guitar. You'd have thought I would have played more with the pandemic and all that, but not really. I feel like I've played more in prior years. But yeah, play more guitar for sure. And, put out more videos. I always feel like I'm barely putting out content. And, up my synth game a little bit, maybe. Get the roof fixed. Definitely on the list. Drink better beer. Yeah. I always find a beer I like and then find out it's like a limited edition or it's not available. It's seasonal. I'm a big fan of the Dogfish Head Namaste, which is a Belgian wheat beer with it's bright. Not quite a Hell's, but it's up there. Collect more cats. Release an EP. Well, finally, I know. That would be huge. No, it's... Yeah. Iron Maiden Trooper beer is awesome. That is actually an awesome beer. What is that? That's is that an English ale? I forget now. The Trooper. That was actually one of the first beers I actually really liked and realized I could like a beer because it wasn't too heavy, and it wasn't cat piss like, a lot of American, what we would call an adjunct lager. It's lager in name only. It's Slogger. Sloggerfest. All right. Brad says, enjoy life, not take the small stuff so seriously, and of course play more guitar. That's a good one. What's up, Krenar? Not to be confused with Krellbar. Someone said that I think Dogfish Head is near him. Yeah, I tried that for the first time when I was in Cleveland. It was like the one that was like the special beer. Man, it was really good. It goes well with food. Yeah, I love the Trooper beer. Yeah, you won't find Namaste in New Hampshire. You won't got the boot. Didn't sell well. Yeah, yeah. I feel like down here you could get you can still get it, but I feel like it's seasonal, right? It's like whenever, and a lot of times those brighter beers are summer beers. Winter beers are usually the heavier ones. It's all extra stouts, oatmeal stout. Dogfish Head is 10 miles from here in Milton, Delaware. So the Indian Brown Ale, a 60-minute IPA. I don't know. IPAs are too sharp for me, man. I don't like the pine cones and grass clippings. It's a little too much. I don't mind a bright beer, but Hell's beer is about as bright as I go. Once you get into the IPAs, they're too bitter. They're too sharp, too dry. They're so dry. I know they're a thing though, because God, you walk into any friggin' liquor store, any Packy, Jackie's Packy, and they're I'm gonna say 80% IPA. I think we're up to 80% at this point. Here's our 12 new beers at Trillium. It's this IPA. It's that IPA. It's this IPA mixed with that IPA. It's this fruity IPA. It's this dark IPA. It's like, enough with the IPAs. Christ. There was life before IPAs. They really have taken over. They're super popular. That's why they're there. And apparently it has a lot of room for variation, that style of brew. So you're going to get 100 billion variations, right? They're the pedal market of beers right now, all right? It's a bit crowded. Kenneth says, how do you like your PRS? I love that PRS. I was just playing it the other day when I was going through. I shot the footage for the guitars of 2020. I just have to edit it all together. It'll come out this week. I really like that guitar. And I tell you this much. That guitar is camera ready. When that thing was up on screen, I was like, damn, girl, you are a looker. Look at you. Nice. Rolling boss of beers. Namaste was a year round. Oh, interesting. Nice. See, there we go. Boston Lager needs to be a sponsor. I like Boston Lager. It's pretty good. From Boston. He's going to say what everyone's thinking. You look smoking, Christy. Total Smoke Joe. Oh, my God. That's like every kid I went to high school with. Any word on the neck? I haven't heard, but I'm not going to bother them. It's still the holidays. I'll wait till next week, and I'll be like, hey, you probably want to dark stain that neck, bring out that flame, Don't get cheap on me. Do you play the new Kramer a lot? I do play that Kramer a lot. How do you like Robert Baker's new PRS? I love it. The DGT. I forgot about it because he showed it to me. He's had that guitar a while. He's had that thing a little bit. But he'll show no guitar before it's time. Unlimited money, what's the first guitar you would get? Oh, probably something vintage, right? Because those are the ones that are really out of reach. I'd love like an early, like a 54 or 55 Les Paul Gold top with P90s, or like a 64, 65 Strat, that looks with the some of the original rare paint jobs like Fiesta Red or Lake Placid Blue. Why no Jackson guitars? I was actually looking at some Jacksons recently. I keep looking at Jacksons. I keep wanting to buy a Jackson, but I haven't really pulled the trigger because, I think I want something with an ebony fretboard. And that's going to put me in soloist territory. And I don't know that any of the import soloists, it's a very select model. But I don't want the bolt on. I want the neck through, right? Or the neck heel like they do. Like the soloist does. The headstock, the Dorito chip inlay. I mean, that's the look, but it's got to be ebony or maple. Maple actually is passable, but I don't care for the rosewood or the Pau Ferro or the, Lingdom Ferry or whatever they're doing. Lingonberry. They're doing something. I don't like the lighter brown, right? It's got to be the tuxedo look for me, I think, on the soloist and the black. What you can get is, quite frankly, and it looks like pretty much like a goddamn Charvel, is the Adrian Smith. And you can get those for short money. He said, I want a guitar, I need a guitar. Oh, it's always, I friggin', you want them. I don't need a guitar. I have plenty of guitars. And guitars are like one of those things that you don't really, there's very few people that have just one. That's a small list. Out of 100 players, I'll bet less than 10%. 90 of those players in a row would have at least two or more guitars. I think there's very few guitar players that have just a single guitar. It's out there. It's not impossible. But it seems to be the exception by a great amount. Most people have two or more. Yeah, the Adrian Smith. It's basically like a Charvel. He's going a little fast here. No, it looks like a fish going, what? Doesn't look like a bottle opener. It's like a Billy Bass. Huh? Chomp, 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 chomp. We're going to teach lessons to probably make good money. That's one of my goals for 2021. Come out with a lesson plan. I got the cameras for it. I have it's not the latest one, but I have the guitar software, Guitar Pro, I think it's called. So I can come up with the charts, charts and graphs with tabs. And I should make that a priority. After I get the roof fixed. It's right on the list. So shocked you're not a Metallica fan. Yeah, you know what? They just, yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah. No. Yeah, no. Oh, thanks, Straw Pete. Happy New Year to you, too. I may have missed this, Steve, but any new gear for Christmas? No. No, I was looking at a few different things. They had a Fender heavy metal Strat in white. Now, the white, as I understand, is a little bit rarer than the yellow or the pink, and the blue, the new ones. They seem to be more around $1,200 than like $1,000, right? So I was looking around, and they had one up for $599. That's pretty low, but they didn't have a photo, and that's always a big red flag. So I called him up, and he's like, "Well, it's kind of chipped, and it's got some wear." He goes, "Let me give you the serial number," and it was an '89 It wasn't one of the new ones. And I immediately knew no, because the 89, the new one has the neck like the Charvel. They quote it as a small C. That's pretty much the Charvel neck. That old one was a big, wide monstrosity. If you like wide necks, it's perfect for you, but I did not care for the neck. Thin front to back, a shredder style neck, but it was very wide, and I just did not care for it. Even wider than the PRS, which is, they literally call it wide thin in the name, but it's even wider than that. It was wide like the old Kramer was wide. And that, just a little too much. 1 millimeter too many. Do you own a looper pedal? I have a couple of loopers. I got the simple one though. The Ditto. It works. It's great. Yeah, this is the standard. Someone was asking, is it the standard? Yeah, it's the standard. I think binding on the one that's not the standard, right? If this was the special, I think it has a binding on the front. And probably an upgrade on the trim, I think, to go with the... This is just the standard. So these are like $5.99 new. This, I paid $3.25 for this. They had another one up there recently for $3.50, $3.49, I think. And it was the olive drab green and satin olive drab with the roasted neck. And I got to say, that roasted neck against the olive actually looked pretty damn good. Like that dark brown with the olive body, but I was just like, I can't. And it was available. It sold out within like an hour or two. They had one up there the other day, like in good condition, and for like $2.89. God, it sold in like a nanosecond. And they had another one up there today that had like the flame top, like not the Dragon Burst. That's the green one. It was the other one. It was the other burst that they did that same year. The green one, I think they called Dragon Burst. And the other one was like a more of like a pinkish, reddish, like burst, rose burst or something with a flame. They had that up there. I want to say it was like $3.49 or $3.69. Gone. You'll see it, but as soon as you click on it, we're sorry. Oops, that page is missing now. The new Adrian Smith USA is hot. No, the one I'm looking at is no way it's USA. It's too cheap. It was like $350. You know. It doesn't have the ebony board. I'm pretty sure it had a maple board. So wife get pissed you rocking out the man cave? Not really. She'll come down here and sit on the couch over there. That's why the blanket's there. And I got the TV right there. Watch TV. And then play with the cats. A lot of cat toys around here. But now that we have the new sectional upstairs and the new TV, she's been hanging up there more. Did you see the Purple Fireman 3 mini humbuckers? How is Ibanez not working with me? How are they sending Henning and Andrew, the guitar geek, both wonderful, lovely people? How are they sending them all those guitars and me nothing? Come on, Ibanez. I know why. It's because they're in the European market, and Ibanez is very sectioned off. So the people that they deal with have nothing to do with the people, and they can't even deal with me because I'm an American. They're like, oh, no, 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 you're out of our market. So I have great relationships with Ibanez Europe, but they can't help me. They literally can't send me a guitar. And Ibanez USA, they don't like me. They don't return my call. I need an ah button. Ah. I'm going through my normal patch on. The one other thing I really love about this patch is how well it deals with rolled off volume. It's really, really good at rolled off volume. Oh God, that is good. I tell you, we had a crisis. We ran out of coffee filters. Yeah. A panic ensued. Frightened, exclaiming, they ran from room to room in chaos. My thought is order super expensive stuff, shoot vids with it, and then send it back for full refund. Yeah, I feel bad about that. I know some people that do that. That will order something and say it failed to meet my eco needs. Send it back. I'm like, it's kind of bogus. Exactly. I'm very dislikable. Damn. Paper towels, pantyhose. My wife wanted to use paper towels, and I said no way. We went out. You know what I do have? I have a. It came with a gold filter, right? One of those gold plated mesh, right? It's all wire though, but your coffee is mud. You need to go through a paper filter. And I went to the store and they didn't have the right size, but I got the smaller ones, and I just sort of jammed them in there and got it all going. And then today we actually got the proper ones and actually made a. We had one day, 24 bleak hours, where we didn't have the proper cup, but we struggled through. We made a pot. Of course we did. Greetings, Poland. The worst thing is when the power goes out. Yeah, no, we brew a pot and throw it in a carafe, so we have at least, a day's worth. After that, I think our stove, I can still light it. The gas still flows. So, you can always make a boiling water on the, and then just slowly pour it through the coffee maker. That's the key, very slowly. My wife gave me a short list of things to get at the store. I got a couple of things and totally forgot the coffee creamer. Guess who's going back? Yeah, the gold filter does, it's not bad. It's just, it's a little muddy. It really doesn't filter out the fine grinds. That's the problem. Mud is the best coffee. Break out the camping gear. I know, right? Yeah, stovetop percolator. That's one thing you might be able to do. Get a stovetop perk. Do you like living in Mass? I heard it's expensive. Yeah, I'm in Ohio. Well, compared to Ohio, it's expensive. I went out there, was looking at like prices on Zillow for houses. I'm like, you can't even be serious. This house that was like, $165,000. That house around here would be like, in my town, it would be like 800,000 or 900,000. But just like literally a mile down the street, 2 miles down the street, just over the border into the next town, all day long, like 1.2, 1.5 million for a house like that, all day long. You can't even get in that town for less than 600,000 or 700,000. And your taxes will reflect your property value. It's hard to explain to people that their taxes are $12,000 to $15,000 a year. They're like, what? It's like $1,000 a month. I'm like, right? Luckily, I'm in a town with relatively low property taxes because we have a commercial area. The towns near us that have no commercial part of town, they're all giant bedroom communities. They pay massive taxes. If you have, a little bit of commercial goes a long way. How did the whole TV fiasco turn out? It turned out fine. We wound up getting an LG. And you know what? The LG showed the picture, but it turns out I probably had a bad HDMI cable. And not a bad one, but one that was only really capable of 1080p. And the box, the FiOS box, recognized the TV as a 4K TV and kept trying to send out a 4K signal. And the cable, the HDMI cable, just didn't have the bandwidth. So the LG could do it, and it would just drop it once in a while. The Samsung didn't want to play with it at all. They were like, no. So I did replace it with a brand new, 18 gigabit HDMI cable that's rated for like HDMI 2.1 or whatever the hell the spec is now. So it should be good. Should be good. Property values are great in the South. You get a lot for your money. Oh, I remember when we bought this house and we thought we were getting a steal at like $329, which I can't even imagine a house that cheap in this neighborhood. Like even below 400 or 500,000 anymore. We got to remember we bought this house in 2001. But yeah, I remember at that time we had some friends that bought a house in like outside of Houston, Texas. And when I tell you this thing was a goddamn Victorian mansion with massive, like, rolling mahogany staircases and stained glass windows, a house that around here at the time we bought our house would have been easily 500,000 or 600,000 in a regular neighborhood, and north of that in an expensive neighborhood. And they were paying like $127,000. I'm like, you cannot be serious. What are we doing? What are we doing? In fact, I know my friend Arnold there from Arnold Plays Guitar. He moved out of California out to Texas and I think he did it because he just knew his property value had shot up and he cashed out his equity. He'd been there for a while and, was able to buy probably a really nice place in Texas. With some of that sweet, sweet California property money. Finally getting rid of this place. And so it's, yeah. Yeah, a lot of folks don't know about the HDMI cable issue, right? Intel or AMD? Well, it depends on your software. For raw brute power, I think AMD has got the crown right now. But a lot of software is optimized for Intel. Don't underestimate Intel's optimization. So I mainly use Intel. i7 here, i7 over there, i5 laptop, i7 laptop in the attic. And then I use an AMD Ryzen 7 2700X for my video editing machine. That has an RTX 2060. Which paired together, they really do cut down the rendering time like immensely. That does sound good, huh? I know, but mine comes with snow. Exactly. Oh, my friend of mine really nailed it here. He bought his house in 1998. He paid $165. By the time we bought our house just a couple of years later, you couldn't even, a 165 was a joke, laughable. You couldn't get anything below 250. I mean, it was unbelievable. He quickly was able to flip that house for like $380,000. I'm like, oh, you are killing me. I don't know any New York Dolls. I don't really know much by really anything by them. Property taxes are about $1,700 a year in Tampa. Yeah, no, ours are like, I want to say we're like $6 or $7 grand here now. We were pretty low when we moved in. Our taxes were like $2 or $3 grand, that's really low. But you know, they've shot up. This is an EVH. EVH, someone says, what kind of guitar is that? It's a EVH Standard. Wolfgang Standard. In Ferrari red. Yeah, there we go. Right. Right. Yeah. See if I can get the headstock. Yeah. Here we go. Here we go. That's right, I'm out. Is it trim deck? No, but they put these like plates under it. It's pretty smart by them. They put these kind of plates under it so it won't go back. That keeps it in tune pretty good. You know, it's got these like, I don't know if you can. It's a little tough to see, but there's like a little deck plate under there. And that really does make a difference. See you, Coots. It's not a no low friction pot. I agree. I do have some low friction pots though. I just replaced the one in the Frankie body. I just did that the other day, and the new low friction works great. So I could do it to this too. Just throw one in it. I got a 500K and throw it right in it. Alice Cooper. and roll makes a comeback. There are no rock or metal bands anymore. Yeah, who knows? Music is fashion, and fashion goes all over the place, but sometimes it repeats. It might come back, but not be quite the same. We'll see. Eventually what's new gets old, and what's old becomes new again. So, might not, maybe, could happen. Whip out the Frankie body. It's all the way on the other side of the room. It's not on one of those tables down in that corner. Yeah, I'm using overloud. I assure you, what's out there for music right now at some point will be laughable and hated by the people who like it now. That's kind of what... Some will love it, but they have to be just of the right age, and they'll defend it to the death. But you know how that goes. Yeah, I do need an X100. That's what I had when I was younger. I had the X100. That's somebody. Ring a ding ding ding. Is that this thing? No. This thing. Do. Ever consider a live DAW? Like, well, I use a digital audio workstation all the time. Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I'm going through right now. I'm going through software like what that Satriani is. Predict Greta Van Fleet will begin a sharp decline. I don't know if they come out with a good song. It's all about the songs. Alice in Chains. I swear, I don't know. I don't think I know a single... Again, that's a band that was a little after my time. Anything after 1987 is in big trouble with me. Yeah, it's Ibanez. I know, it's Ibanez USA. Let's see. We will never, ever, ever do business with you. Yeah. I know, I'll play more Iwi in 2021. I wonder if I can do a little slideshow here. We do a slideshow for 2020? Is it slideshow time? I'm saying yes on the slideshow. All right, let me see what the hell can I do here? Can I go here? And then press this. And then press this. Now, Krellbar, if this doesn't work, I know it's hard for you to text me. Maybe you can email me. I'll have my phone right here. Well, maybe try and text me. And just, you don't have to send me a whole thing. Just say, text an N, the letter N, if it's not working. And don't send any text if it is working. But this should work. All right, there we go. I just have to move this to the front. You should be looking at a beer and me in the corner. I'm looking down this way. Let me just quickly go back here. I gotta go. Yeah. That looks good. And then if I go here, this is how my year started. I'll go here, If I go back, it's saying it's there. And I'm going to believe it. All right, so my 2020 started with a beer. That is a Boston Lager, actually. And I believe that is for my Nam flight. And I'm probably at Legal Seafood. Here I am, jet-bluing over to the Nam show. Hanging out with Agu Fish. He's checking out a travel guitar there. I had a few of those hanging up. That's me up in the Chapman booth, up in the Chapman booth with a Chapman, I think, new for 2020 guitar. And me and Rob Scallon hanging out, having fun. Me and Rabia. He's the best. He's a great guy. And Anthony Stauffer, blues guy, if you know him. And then Ben. Now I'm gonna go back. Well, it says I'm there. All right, I'm gonna assume it's working. And then there's what's his name, photobombing us in the back there. Baker. That's a Baker bomb right there. That's a Ben Aller Baker bomb. We had such a wonderful night. This was courtesy of Hughes and Kettner. And they were so nice. All right, well, Krell Bar is giving me the green light on this. All good. And that's Jack from Toxic Externity. And he is an awesome guitar player, first of all. Like, just an amazing killer player, but a lover of cotton candy as well. Me and Chris Buck, this is early in the morning. That's why it's pretty empty there. I caught him as he was walking through. I said, hey, what's up, buddy? We were shooting the breeze for a couple of minutes. We got stuck together in Amsterdam. We were both at TGU 19. But we didn't talk much during the show. And then afterwards, we both were I was on a separate flight with Nathan Navarro and Max from Guitar Max. And our flight got like totally delayed and we missed our connecting flights and they put us up at a hotel in Amsterdam for the night for a flight out the next day. And then we were down in the lobby having some drinks, and who walked in but Chris Buck? He's like, yeah, I missed my flight. I'm like, saunter up. And we had a great night hanging out. Paul Davids, wonderful guy. One of the nicest guys in the biz. Certainly a amazing guitar player as well. And quite the cinematographer. There's Phil tuning up his super awesome Gibson. They were pretty much announcing that he was a new artist with Gibson. And there he is doing, I want to say, Stranglehold. They did a cover of Stranglehold and a bunch of stuff. It was really, really good. And then there we are hanging out afterwards. It's me and Baker, who grew a second head with a small hand. I don't know if you see that. Baker sprouted a small head off of his left shoulder. It's adorable. And then, of course, Carl Golden in the center. Amazing guy. That's Sammy Bowler, amazing guitar player, shredding it up in the old Friedman booth. We're sounding real good. Oh, and it looks like we're back. That was my last photo from there. I was only there 2 days this year. Of 2020, last year. I was only there for 2 days. I got back and they sent me a Spark. And same with the Orange Terra. And there I am, I'm painting the room over there. The one with the rug in it. I haven't done the floor yet, but that's the start. Oh yeah, there's the end of February. We had to say goodbye to the minivan. That's it being towed away to 1877 Cars for Kids. I shit you not, I did donate. They got me. The song got me. And I gave it away. I didn't have the title for it. I lost the title, and I didn't want to have to get a new one. And they'll take it without a title as long as it's old enough that they can just junk it. This is the last time I went out to like anything where there were really any people. This is February 29th, leap year day. And I'm holding the guitar owned by the guitar player for, what's his name there? Queensryche singer there, Jeff Tate. And, oh my God, I can't believe I'm forgetting his name, but you know that guitar player with the guitars? Kiernan and Robinson. And super nice guy. Yeah, there he is. There he is. I mean, we could be twins, right? I mean, look at us. Here's a couple of Scotsmen right there. Here's a couple of Scots talking to you. Oh, what a night. Good guy. Love hanging out. That was my cat. This is like her last few weeks. She was just sleeping all the time. My poor little kitty. We lost our kitties. That was the very end of her. She was not doing well. Then we got the Les Paul Custom LPC. OPP. The old Epiphone Custom. Love that guitar. It's let me just make sure. I feel like that's in the way. Oh yeah, and there it is, a slim 9.96 pounds. Oh yeah, and then the Vola. I still have that. I don't know if it's mine, but yes. Greg is probably going, that's not yours. I'm like, it's kind of here. That's a gorgeous guitar. Nice top there, hot shot. Nice top. And if you notice, the pickups are made of flame maple. Flame maple pickups, because why not? Oh yeah, and that's the Harley Benton bass. Kind of my year in guitars. The Harley Benton bass hole right there. Oh yeah, the Terra stamp. That was my little like amp and a pedal. I actually got a little bit of power. I think it's like 15 watts, 20 watts. Might be 20 watts. That is the second Vola to show up. So I had the first one, and then this one showed up. Boy, I hadn't even moved the keyboards yet. Goes to show you, like, wow. Like, those are still, keyboards are still over in this main room here. Yeah, look at the back on that, the mahogany. Look at the mahogany. 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 Nice. And, of course, the roasted maple neck with locking vintage tuners. They're vintage tuners, but they lock. There's a nice shot of the front. The paint and the grooves will light up a little bit. They glow in the dark. It's so hard because the cameras aren't sensitive enough once you turn all the lights out just to capture the glow. Your eyes can capture it, no problem, but it's a little trickier with the cameras. But the black lights will bring it out. But yeah, see, now I've made more room. See, before when you saw it, the keyboard wasn't over here. The floor hadn't been painted yet. I was on only my second or third coat of the wall. I think I did like 4 coats of paint on the wall. And then on the right side, that was plasterboard. I took that down. I put up oriented strand board, and then I nailed up the cedar wall on the top of that just to give it a little bit better look than oriented strand board. And I've already had to wring that rug out of soaked with water twice because of the friggin' flooding. So annoying. It's like we haven't had water down there in I don't know how long. And then 2 years, and now I've had it twice in a month. Really annoying. And I think the rug was curling up. I can see I have that weight. I think that's and I'll bet the box is there too. You can almost see it's a little wrinkled. It's flat now. Nothing like getting sopped with water to flatten yourself right out. That is an indigo bunting. I have had a bird feeder for 20 years, and that's the first one I've ever seen ever. And I thought it was noteworthy for 2020. That's the bootlegger guitar. Great guitar. It still has the old plastic on it. That one was a loaner. Don't have it. Bootlegger. I still got this one though, the Bear Mojo Chaos with in the Chaos finish, which I love. That's one of my favorite guitars of the year. Nice, another shot of it. Some orange headphones. Those showed up out of the blue. I was like, thank you, orange. They're nice. They're heavy. The thing is that they're good for listening to music on your phone, and I think it even has a built-in speaker, right? I mean, microphone. But I think for real-time guitar playing, the Bluetooth is just a little laggy, more than 10 milliseconds of lag. So that's a little tricky. I wouldn't use them as my reference headphones for recording, but they're great with your phone. And then the Panorama T6. There's the old keyboard. Right there. Right, y'all. The Nectar. The Nectar. This is the year in gear right here. Oh, and then we got our internet upgraded. That's a man's speed right there, baby. Hey, I don't know if I don't want to brag, but have you seen my upload speeds? And then we picked up the new Hero 9. I get the new GoPro every year. And they suckered me in again another year. They're like, this one definitely works. I'm like, all right, okay. I'll try you again this year. We'll see if it works. They're like, if you have one from last year, we're going to give you a special price. Because, let's face it, that last one kind of sucked. But this one fixes everything you hated about that last one. That's what you said about the last one. Yeah, but it did. You just found new things to hate. Oh, that was that little mini guitar. Again, that was a loaner. You can see that it still has the plastic on the disc. I didn't want to take that off. But that's got some weight. That was a little mini guitar. Look at that thing. It's almost 5 pounds. Little bit of weight. Look at that thing. It's adorbs. The guitar's great too. Look at that. Nice. A couple of my glamour shots. Oh, right. And then EVH died, and that sucked. But the only good thing that came out of it was I was able to get all 3 of these guitars here for a weekend. That's Bobby's on the left and Bobby's on the right. And my friend Reno owns the one in the middle. And they were all a little different. I'm going to declare the winner was the one on the right, the Frankie, the Franque. It was definitely the oiled neck, and the fact that I think they twisted that bridge pickup a little bit farther away from the bridge, just that extra millimeter or 2 away, made it a touch warmer. It really did. Yeah, you can see it. I also put those guitars up on that rack behind it. That wasn't there before. The keyboards were there. You could see it in an earlier shot. Big year for change this year. You know, and they got the curtains up to separate this area off. God, this year. The great thing about the curtains, I can just pick them right up. So when it, you know, I can get them right off the ground whenever it floods. Great guitars, though. Still that Frankie. When I get mine back, I can't wait to get it going. In fact, I should send a picture of that to Acacia and say, make look like this. They'd be like, dude, we're done with that. Got a black light. Use that for the Halloween show. Here it is lighting my picks up like crazy. It was hard to even get it to squish down. They were so friggin' bright. There's the black light on the Vola guitar. You can see it's making the grain pop. You can start to see it glow a little bit. You would even say it glows. We wrote a song about it. Sadly, it infringed on an earlier works. That's the Frankie that Bobby gave me. That's the Bobby Frankie. That's the one that I have the neck out right now to be done and fixed up. And, yeah. And that's the one I have to figure out what I'm going to do for a bridge. I just replaced the pod in it, so it's got a, a super low friction pot. A Bourne's 500K low friction. But that trim is just like the special. I got to really find like a regular one, see if I can get it on there. And it might even have to be even moved a little. If you look at the dots, you can see that string spacing is a little bit to the right. But it could be the angle that I'm shooting it, but I don't think so. If anything, it would be slightly more to the other side, so that's all right. Whatever it is, I can fix it. There's nothing I can't fix. There it is again, a little close up. You can see the ash body and the brass inlays on the side and a little bit of the flame, a little bit of the flambe. And then we got the PRS. Glorious moment in channel history. We all remember where we were when we first learned that the PRS had landed. There it is. There it is again. Highly figured maple top on a mahogany body with the ebony fretboard. Look at the ebony. You can see it there. Ebony fretboard. So it was like a what I want to say, like a custom order, and it would come with a case. But instead of being $19.99, I've been finding out more about it since I got it. $23.99. It was a 20%. Instead of $2,000, it was $2,400. There's a 20% increase, right? If you wanted to get the special model with highly figured top and ebony fretboard. So I'm pretty happy with the $12.99 I paid for it. I double checked my receipt. I think I said $12.49 before, but it's not $12.99. It's pretty damn good. And then we started to shoot the Halloween show. As you can see, that's Bobby, Steve Marchina, and Krellbar. Yeah. Well, that's them. Pick them right out of a lineup. Well, I tell you, the blacklight did a great job. Looked pretty good. And then we did the same thing, but with the light up masks. And then you just back off, and it lights up nice, and everything's nice and sharp. I was pretty happy with the way it came out. And now I'm up in the attic editing the video. Yeah, I'm starting to remember the sequence now. Beautiful day, nice, warm, gorgeous. Everything's golden. Late October. And then the next day it snowed. This is literally 24 hours later. The next day, snow. Yesterday, today, yesterday, today, yesterday, today. That's like late October. Look at that. It's heavy snow. It practically dragged that friggin' tree to the ground. Big old clumps. Little clumpy. We called it little clumpy. And then I figured out how to do the electricity. That took a few tutorials on YouTube. But I figured out how to do the electricity on the Adobe After Effects. What a pain in the ass. But I got it. And then I started doing more with this room here. I started moving more crap over there. Getting some of the lights up. I think I got the rug at that point. I don't think I had the rug. Did I have the rug in the last shot? I think maybe I did, yeah. I got the rug now. You can see I got some of the materials off to the left. It just never ends. Oh, I got the Donna guitar. Donna. Nice. Look at that. A happy guy. That is my Thanksgiving dinner. Pepper on everything. Salt and pepper to go. Pepper even on the cranberry sauce, especially on the cranberry sauce. Come on. Of course. And then there it is. That was, okay, Thursday, Monday. Thursday, Monday. Thursday, Monday. So by Monday, it started Sunday night, early Monday morning, I think, or maybe it was Monday night, early Tuesday. I thought it was Sunday night into Monday, but anyway, it sucked. Wait, 28, 29. Saturday would be the 30th. Right, Sunday would be the 1st. Yeah, it was the 1st. Yeah, God, what a goddamn nightmare. That was the first of two. The second one was on Christmas. There it is 3 days later. Monday, Wednesday. I think Wednesday is that photo. Could be Thursday. I think it's Wednesday, though. Monday, Wednesday, Monday, Wednesday. We're getting there. Oh, yeah, and then we got our Christmas tree. Couldn't put any ornaments on it because the cats were climbing it. So, no ornaments as long as you have kittens in the house. God damn. There it is when it worked. Eventually they break the top part of it. There she is, one of the cats, in the sink because there's a bird feeder and she wants to surprise the birds. So she's got a little bird blind going on there. Because up on the counter, she feels like she's giving her position away. So she's taken to the sink quite a bit. A little shot of the desk. And then I think that was the Christmas, right around Christmas. Right before Christmas. Oh, yeah, and I got my poster. I got my Christmas poster from Griffey. That's actually a 14-stage. He gives you the stages, too. I think black is the last stage. And I want to say yellow is one of the first. It's got like lavender. It's 14-stage silkscreen. It is like the most colorful and amazing poster I've ever received. Because it's not, again, it's just it's a truly artistic way to print it. With ink, dragged over a silk screen. So it's amazing work. I love it. $50, you can buy them right on his website, and they come signed and numbered. I think he's got like a dozen left or whatever. And then this is it. I'm pretty sure that's the last one I did. I finally got the studio tour done, and people seem to like it. All right, I think that. Let me get to my right here. And then right there. And that was 2020 in a nutshell. All right, hold on. F11. And the stream. And Marcel. And we're back. Oh. All right. I'm watching a lot of these. All right. Okay. Seeing Pepper. I'm just looking through the comments are going by really fast. I swear to God, because it wasn't highlighted. I think because they're smoking by right now. Doesn't it smell after being flooded? Like a wet dog. I'm telling you right now, wet rug would give wet dog a run for its money. It does smell. Yeah. You ever sold a guitar and then regret it ever since? Yeah, I remember selling a guitar and regretting it almost the instant it went out the door. Ever thought about moving out of the wet? I have. We've been talking about it. Where's the AFX rave track? I know, right? That's the one thing. The racetrack. I know. Damn it. That's the one thing. Yeah, I've thought about a move to the attic, but believe it or not, it's quieter down here in many ways. The attic can be noisy, not because the house is quieter, but we have a noisy street like one street over from us. And in the daytime, you'll have a truck go by or an ambulance go by or, some, big, usually it's like a big truck. It's a big hill, going through the gears. It's like, oh my God. And of course, not too far away is a light. So every single, ambulance or emergency vehicle has to hit the siren when they go through it. You don't really hear it down here. They can go by and it won't really pick it up. But up in the attic, will absolutely pick it up. Yeah, we had some rain and snow last night. It started out as snow, but it turned to rain. Now they're saying we're going to be getting some more, but they're not talking like it's a really big event. Like the last time they were like, this is going to be flooding and this is going to be like really heavy. And they weren't kidding. It really was. But they don't have that same urgency on this one. And trust me, if they can eke out any bit of, sensationalism, they'll do it. Wow, is it really 8:48? Oh my God. I was like, what is it, like 8:15, 8:20? I was way off. Two to 4 inches tonight? Really? Huh. I'll take it. I'd rather have it locked up on the surface than come down as an inch of rain. Though an inch of rain is like a foot of friggin' snow. How you liking that H&K behind it? Oh, I love it. That's the Grandmeister 40. Killer amps. Love the H&Ks. That's the Grandmeister 40. And then right next to it, right there, is the Black Spirit 200. They're both really good amps. Black Spirit runs cooler and lighter, but they have pretty much the same channels. I cover it in the studio tour. They're very similar amps, almost identical, but the Black Spirit's newer and solid state and 200 amps, 200 watts, and this is 40 watts in all tube. That settles it then. 3-hour streams in 2021. No way. I know, 2:48 a.m. in Germany. Damn. I really appreciate you staying up. It is late. How about the H&K? Any issues that sound good in overdrive? Oh, it's great. No. H&K is really good stuff. And then the other thing you have to remember, all the H&K amps have that boost on it. And that boost is not only just a boost, it's also a bit of a bright switch. So it really does. You get that like screaming tree. Man, it sounds good. Really good. Got to be careful playing copyrighted riffs, though. I don't think Judas Priest has ever given me a problem, though. Not like other people. AC/DC, man, they'll really get me sometimes. With a tiny, and Van Halen too. What's the best first metal guitar for a beginner? You know, I would say at this point, do not get a guitar with a locking trem. Just start out with something that's strung through the back of it or on the face of it. Don't get anything with a tremolo to start. You can learn plenty of metal riffs and then get into a tremolo after like a year or two. But I think a beginner, you're going to be frustrated trying to tune it and keep it in tune. And just get a hardtail. There's no reason to get something with a trem. And there's countless stuff out there. There's a whole bunch of stuff by Charvel, by Jackson, by... I mean, Epiphone makes a bunch of great stuff. Even Harley Benton, you can get really, really inexpensive stuff. If they have it in stock, they're a little tricky to get stock right now. Of course, Kramer, but most of the Kramers are not hardtails. The shorter lists when it comes to Kramer. That without without a trem on it. But yeah, there's a few out there. But yeah, I'd go hardtail. For a beginner, just go hardtail, and you won't have to. It'll make your life simpler for the first couple of years. And then later on, you can always get into a tremolo and learn those trem-related riffs later. Yeah, Schecter's another one. That's a great brand. Schecter's another good one. A lot of hardtail offerings. And where Ibanez used to be kind of nothing but friggin' tremolos, even they've sort of started to come around. They have a lot in the Prestige line and the premium line that are hardtails now. Because there's a market for it. And someone was joking saying, just get us 10-string. I wouldn't start with a 7 or an 8 or a 9 string. Start with a 6 string and work your way up from there. Have I ever tried the Wampler Plexi Overdrive? I don't think I have. Hardtail Ibanez are very nice. I agree. Especially some of these new ones that string through the back. Those kind of like ocean fades on like Poplar Burl. Pretty nice. They got a new one that just came out. An RG. It might have a trem on it. I don't know if it's hardtail or not. But it's got a flip-flop paint. Like blue to purple to gold, right? Usually at a real hard angle. It's gold. And then it'll flip-flop between purple and blue, depending on... Yeah, it's like if it's... I know what... It's like moving towards you or moving away from you. Sterling, that's another good one. Sterling, yeah. Geez, a Les Paul Custom. Heavy, though. You'll know you're wearing a guitar when you have it on, but they're wonderfully playing guitars. I tried out a Marshall DSL-1. I got one for Christmas. Quite a good punch for a little amp. Yeah, I've heard good things about them. I've only played the DSL-5, and I want to say the DSL-20. And when we played the DSL-20, it wasn't even on the market yet. All they had out was the DSL-40. And so we go to like this event, and they're like, you can't take pictures of it and you can't mention it. I'm like, why did you come to this? Why would you go to this event and bring an amp that no one can see? It, and like, we can't take a picture of it. We can't talk about it. We're all under like mum's the word on this like new Marshall amp. We're like, when do the 2021 guitars usually come out soon? Well, yeah, January, right, for the NAMM show. You're going to see a lot. Ibanez just announced their 2021 line. They didn't wait a day. Like, literally, almost everything was announced yesterday. And then a lot of companies they kind of plan towards like January 15th, right, or the middle, just the week, the 7 days prior to when the NAMM show would normally happen. You see a lot of people starting to announce. Oh yeah, another person's writing ESP LTD. Yeah, again, a lot of hardtail offerings with ESP. They make a ton of hardtails. Steve, on your Boss Katana Mini, do you have the authentic Boss power supply? I think I have a. I don't have the original power supply. I think I have. I was using one, but I need it for something else, and no, I'm using a one from Amazon. Just whatever. I picked one up off of Amazon a couple of years ago. Works fine though. Anyone struggle with keeping strings clean on their guitar? Just give them a tiny bit of a wipe before you, when you're done. But it wears off quickly. You forget to do it, but that'll go a long way. If you have a real problem, get some coated strings. Some people have a real pH problem with their sweat, and it's highly acidic, or at least leans acidic. So you rip through them pretty quickly. Good to see you, Donnie. The 5150 riff. That's actually a really good tip by Terry. Wash your hands before you play. That actually probably would go a long way to helping keep the strings clean. It really would. All right, well, I think we are at 8:59, and so I'm going to call it a night. Thanks to everybody who hung out tonight. Super extra thanks to anyone who contributed. I really do appreciate it. It's super awesome, and I appreciate it. And of course, extra super shout out thanks to me Mod Squad for moderating and keeping an eye on things. I really appreciate it. And we'll all come back and do it. The guitars of 2020 will come out this week. It's just a matter of editing it and getting it up and out there. And then we'll just go from there. Like I said, maybe in a month or so, I'll do all the guitars, but that'll take a little longer. Can't do it too close to the guitars of 2020. People will be like, you just did this video. It's like, yeah, but that was just the guitars of 2020. Why am I explaining myself? That's how it goes. All right, here we go. I'm not scrolling up, but I am hovering the mouse above the end screen button. Stream button. Scream button? Something. A little Freudian slip there. All right, dudes. I'm out. I'll see you in a week. Until then. No. You rock on. See you in a week. Later.